Welcome to this explainer. I'm so thrilled to have you here today. If you're a focused learner looking to just completely demystify the SAT writing section, well, you're exactly in the right place. Today, we're going to gamify the SAT grammar rules. Think of this as your ultimate playbook for writing excellence. We're taking the guesswork out of test day and replacing it with pure, reliable strategy. Okay, let's dive right in.
Here's the agenda. We've distilled the material into 4 core skills for writing excellence. 1. Pronoun perils. 2. Apostrophes and word pairs. 3. The art of conciseness. 4. Fixing misplaced phrases. And finally, number 5, your ultimate SAT checklist.
Okay, Section 1, Pronoun Perils.
So the SAT absolutely loves to trap test takers by mentioning 2 people together in a single sentence. It's a classic misdirection play. Take a look at this phrase, Dr. Vasquez and I, or Dr. Vasquez and me. Your ear gets kind of confused by the extra words, right? Many of us are conditioned to think that and I always sounds more formal and therefore just must be the correct answer on a standardized test. But depending on the rest of the sentence, that assumption can completely tank your score.
And this next bit brilliantly illustrates exactly why. Consider the incorrect phrasing, working alongside Dr. Vasquez and I since 2018. If we just take away Dr. Vasquez, we get working alongside I since 2018. Suddenly it sounds completely wrong, doesn't it? Alongside is a preposition, and prepositions demand an object pronoun. You would literally never say alongside I. You'd say alongside me.
Which brings us to your first major cheat code. The drop test. To find the right pronoun, just mentally drop the other person from the sentence. Test the pronoun all by itself. If it sounds right alone, it's right in the pair. And here's a pro tip for you. This exact same drop test works perfectly for who versus whom. Who is your subject form doing the action, like the scientist who discovered it? Whom is your object form receiving the action, like the scientist whom we hired? Just isolate the clause, test the pronoun, and you're golden.
Now, another major pronoun peril is the battle between it's with an apostrophe and it's without one. It's with an apostrophe is always a contraction for it is or it has, period. The version without the apostrophe is the possessive form. So the test here is super simple. Replace the word with it is and read it out loud. The library opened it is doors. I mean, that sounds like absolute nonsense, right? So you instantly know you need the possessive form without the apostrophe. And guess what? The exact same logic applies to whose versus whose. If saying who is breaks the sentence, just use whose.
Moving on to Section 2, Apostrophes and word pairs. Let's look at the rule of numbers. The number 2 is highly significant on the SAT when it comes to comparisons. A super common trap is using a superlative, like most experienced, when you're comparing exactly 2 things. If you only have 2 researchers, Dr. Vasquez isn't the most experienced, she's the more experienced. You only use most or the est ending when you're comparing 3 or more things. So always keep a sharp eye out for how many subjects are actually in the room.
Now let's talk possession rules. If a single noun owns something, add an apostrophe s. So, one teacher owns a book, it's the teacher's book. But if multiple teachers own books, you write the plural word teachers, which already ends in s, and just hang a single apostrophe right at the very end of it. And remember our rule from earlier, words like its and whose are already possessive. They never ever need apostrophes to show ownership.
Next up in this category are correlative conjunctions. These are essential word pairs that always travel together. Take a second to really mentally lock these in. If you see neither, you must see nor. Either pairs with or, not only pairs with but also, and both must pair with and. The SAT will constantly try to mix and match these, just to see if you're paying attention.
So, the crucial point here is that not only must these pairs be complete, but they also absolutely must be grammatically parallel. The phrasing on the left side of the pair has to match the structural type of the phrasing on the right side. For instance, you can't say something was not only a discovery, but also it challenges assumptions. A discovery is a noun phrase, while it challenges is an entirely new clause. To make it parallel, it should be not only a discovery, but also a challenge. Noun phrase to noun phrase. Balance is literally everything here.
Okay, Section 3, the art of conciseness.
The SAT highly values writing that's direct, active, to the point, and never redundant. Your goal is to deliver the maximum amount of meaning with the most efficient use of language. So, whenever you're faced with a really long, wordy, underlined phrase on the test, prompt yourself with the ultimate editor's question. Could I cut any words without losing meaning? If the answer is yes, you're more than likely looking at a redundancy trap.
Take this phrase, for example. Truly unprecedented and completely novel adaptations. Well, unprecedented means never seen before. Novel also means never seen before. Using synonyms together like this unnecessarily bloats the sentence. You're basically saying the exact same thing twice. The correct, concise path is simply unprecedented adaptations.
Let's move to and see how this builds into another type of redundancy trap, explaining the obvious. The original 19th century coffered ceiling, which was old and antique. I mean, come on, if a ceiling is from the 19th century, we already know it's old and antique. Those descriptive phrases are uselessly explaining what's already glaringly obvious. The correct answer simply strips away all that excess. Which leads us to your ultimate cheat code for this section, the shortest correct answer. When in doubt, favor the most concise option that remains completely clear and grammatically intact. And this rule also means you should basically always favor the active voice over the passive voice. Don't say stress and tension are breathed out with each exhalation. It's just too wordy. Say, breathe out stress and tension with each exhalation. It's direct, it's punchy. Cut the unnecessary words.
Moving right along to Section 4, Fixing Misplaced Phrases.
We've reached our fourth skill, and honestly, this one is the most absurdly humorous grammar trap on the entire exam. Let me ask you a question. Are pressure chambers capable of examining specimens? Can a team of researchers literally be crumbling in several places? Can a mother named Ethel actually be a beloved children's story? The answer is obviously no way. But if you don't place your opening phrases correctly, this is exactly what your sentences will claim. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the mechanic of the participial phrase. Examining the specimens, the pressure chambers were pushed to their limits. According to SAT grammar rules, the noun immediately following that comma absolutely must be the thing doing the action described before the comma. Pressure chambers don't examine specimens, we do. So the sentence has to read, examining the specimens, we push the pressure chamber.
Here's another hilarious example, this time mid-sentence. A beloved children's story, Ethel read The Three Little Pigs to her son. This structure explicitly implies that Ethel herself is a beloved children's story. Mid-sentence misplaced phrases will completely destroy your sentence logic. The fix is just shifting the order so the description touches the right noun. Ethel read the beloved children's story The Three Little Pigs to her son.
To fix these systematically, you want to use the process of elimination strategy. Step 1, look at the phrase right before the comma. Step 2, look at the first noun right after the comma. Step 3, ask yourself, does the opening phrase logically describe that specific noun? If the wrong answers just move the phrase around without fixing that core mismatch, cross them out until you find the one that is crystal clear.
And finally, Section 5, your ultimate SAT checklist.
We have covered a tremendous amount of ground today, so let's lock in these core skills before test day with a rapid-fire summary. 1. Drop test your pronouns by removing the other person to see if the pronoun stands on its own. 2. Check your apostrophes, S for singular possession and just an apostrophe after the S for plural possession. 3. Replace its and whose with it is and who is. If the sentence breaks, use the possessive forms its or whose with absolutely no apostrophe. 4. Cut redundant words and always look for the shortest, clearest answer. And 5. Always match your opening phrases directly to the very next noun.
You've got the playbook now. You know exactly how the test makers try to misdirect you with clunky phrasing, hidden redundancies, and tricky possessives. So, armed with these 4 powerful tools, which SAT grammar trap will you completely demolish on your next practice test? Take these strategies, apply them, and watch your writing score soar. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy studying.